Did you know that half of the world's linguistic diversity is expected to disappear by the end of the century? Considering that there are about 6,000 languages spoken today, we are talking about the disappearance of nearly 3,000 languages. Unfortunately, indigenous languages are the most likely to go extinct. This can occur in a variety of ways, such as through forcible processes like colonization, natural disasters that wipe out villages and communities, or simply through lack of use, as majority languages take up more space. However, it is not merely the disappearance of languages that should concern us. Language is inexplicably tied to society and culture. Whenever a language is lost, or the last speaker of a language dies, the world loses. We lose diversity, means of expressing identity, and repositories of history and knowledge. While it is difficult to slow the process of language loss, it can be done. Through recording languages and creating written materials, endangered languages can be preserved. But there's a third option: total linguistic and cultural revitalization. This semester, I partnered with the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony, or the RSIC, whose goals were to engage the tribal community in linguistic and cultural revitalization through reservation resources. These resources would include language classes that would also instruct the students in cultural practice. We would accomplish these goals through synthesizing existing revitalization materials and creating a curriculum for each language at the RSIC, for the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe communities. This sounds like a relatively simple task, but I would come to find out for myself that language revitalization is not that easy. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to do my service learning at the RSIC was because of this emphasis on language. A language learner myself, I have studied Spanish, American Sign Language, and now Arabic. I figured that this experience in language learning would contribute to the goals of the RSIC. My tasks would encompass the preliminary steps toward curriculum building. I would take inventory of all the materials in the revitalization library, such as past curricula, and put them into a catalog in order to assess all the resources available to us before we could begin. During one of my inventory sessions at the revitalization office, I happened to be present while my supervisor interviewed a Shoshone language instructor. I was asked to join a mock lesson, during which I was taught several Shoshone words as they applied to a sagebrush scrubbing ceremony. Afterward, while recording her biography for the class website, the instructor went on to tell me about her life. Growing up with Shoshone as her first language, being forced to learn English in elementary school, and how her relatives spoke mostly Shoshone growing up. Between the lesson regarding language and culture practice and this instructor's story about growing up in two worlds, I realized something. I had previously been too focused on language acquisition and didn't see the big picture. We are working with a community, one with a unique history and distinctive cultural practices. As I had mentioned in a class reflection, we are not only trying to facilitate language use. By providing these classes and sharing culture, we are helping to sustain another generation of speakers from cultures striving to face the future while also dealing with their pasts. Our work is intended to have social repercussions, to raise awareness regarding language loss and how this affects people. This is what linguistic and cultural revitalization means, and why it is necessary to approach the two together rather than separately, as I had done while focusing solely on the linguistic aspects. Indigenous languages face the greatest threat of extinction for a vast number of reasons unique to that language and culture. Nevertheless, they need not be lost. Through active revitalization efforts, such as those at the RSIC, we can slow the processes of extinction so that future generations can enjoy the languages of their ancestors and participate in their cultures. Even though my time at the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony was short, I am proud to have been involved in something that not only preserves languages, but touches lives and communities along the way, and hopefully for years to come.